With less than 2 weeks until the 2021 Six Nations Championship, the Irish team will now enter a strict bubble and begin preparations for the tournament opener against Wales on Sunday week. The 36-man squad was announced yesterday, and joining me to discuss this further is, of course, Ronan O'Gara. Good morning, Ronan. How's life in the west of France?
Hi, Tommy. I'm great. I'm excellent, thank you. And you're looking well too.
Oh, it's good to have you on. I see you in the La Rochelle tracksuit. You're a head coach over there, second in the league. How are you finding it?
At the minute, I'm frozen. Sorry, I have a big whiskey nose on me. I just run off the pitch. But it's going good. It's going good. It's enjoyable. It's challenging, but it's a really tough championship we're in. But we're going good. We're going well at the minute. So we just need to keep going. Staying on it and looking forward now to getting stuck into a bit of Six Nations to mix it up a bit.
Do you know what I wanted to know? Of course, you're over in the West Coast France, in La Rochelle. 5 children. You're obviously coaching. How's Jess got on? Is she have to do homeschooling? What's the story over there?
No, we've been very lucky in the fact, obviously last March, April, we had a lockdown which lasted a number of weeks, but since then, I think in our area, the Sharon team marathon, we're quite good. So we have the curfew at night time. It's quite amazing over here. There's very, I suppose, good respect for the rules and regulations. So if they say you're in home for 6 o'clock, you're in home for 6 o'clock. So we haven't been in lockdown. The schools haven't been closed, and rugby has been going ahead. So in terms of my bubble, it hasn't had that much of an impact. Obviously, I suppose pubs and restaurants are closed, and the social aspect of life is what it isn't what it was. But we can get on with that. It's very, very different, I suppose, atmosphere here than at home.
Yeah, absolutely. I think because the homeschooling is so difficult over here at the minute. But listen, some good news on the horizon. The Six Nations looks like it is going ahead. Andy Farrell has named his squad. What did you make of it? Any surprise selections?
No, I think it was quite predictable, as you know from your days playing. Like 36, that's still gives you an awful lot of wiggle room, I suppose, in terms of manoeuvring your team and who you want. You nearly have 3 deep in each position, well, especially in the specialist positions. So, no, I think it was predictable. And after watching the Munster-Leinster game, you could see obviously that Rhys Ruddock won out probably in his individual battle against Gavin Coombs, and that happens, I suppose, when you're on a winning team and winning environment. You get the 50-50 calls. Rhys, I suppose, has been exceptional all year. In terms of the backs, there's a lot of competition for places. Probably outside of the half-backs, I think it'll be predictable that it'll be Conor Murray, Johnny Sexton starting there. Centres, it's not as easy to call because Gary Ringrose comes back. I thought Henshaw was exceptional at the weekend, and Bundyaki, for me, adds something different that we don't really have in Ireland in the centres. The back three, Hugo Keenan seems to be probably the favourite to wear the 15 jersey. I would always be a Keith Earls fan. I think he doesn't look to be slowing down or losing any of his agility. So for me, he'll play definitely. And I suppose it depends, Tommy, and you'd know better than I would, what you do with Jordan Larmour, whether you put him into the team or he's obviously a great option off the bench as well because he can cover so many positions and he has big X factor and big impact factor.
Yeah, I think you saw that last weekend. Obviously struggled under the high ball, but such a threat with ball in hand. If Ireland can work out a way to give him the ball, he is such a threat, so dangerous as well. One question I have to ask you though, a lot of people have been talking about no John Cooney, no Luke McGrath. Craig Casey gets in though, so it's such an opportunity for him.
Yeah, into the squad, but I don't know, is that necessarily into your 23, which is very different? Is it a case of, okay, this is what Team Ireland looks like, these are the standards that are expected of you? It'll be interesting to see how he grasps it, can he get up to the pitch of, I suppose, training straight away, or does he need a few weeks or months to bed in? Because remember, your first 10 caps you're probably a very different player than you will be after that, because that's what experience is, and a lot of younger players don't understand that at the time, but as we age a bit, you do appreciate that.
But listen, the big selection out of the whole lot, of course, is Paul O'Connell named as the forwards coach. What an opportunity for him. A good call by Andy Farrell, bringing him into the squad.
Yeah, it is. It's a huge opportunity, I would say, not for Paul, but for everyone else. I think we're obviously biased because we've been in the dressing room with him, and I think people will say, well, he's gone from the dressing room now, but he's gone from the dressing room, but all his players are in the dressing room, so he still has a huge role to play. I think coaching or teaching is done in very different forms, and it's really, I suppose, progressing. And nowadays the players like a kind of a collaborative approach in terms of having their voices heard. And I think Paul is very intelligent. He's very well prepared. He's very well read, and I think he always has an interesting angle on it. Perception is very different to reality. A lot of, I suppose, the laziness in terms of perception of him would be that he'd fire people up. I think he is a brilliant motivator, but as you know and I know, behind the scenes, he has huge preparation. So for me, it's an area where I think his area of expertise is around the ruck and will be around the line out, and he has immense detail on that. People will say that he hasn't coached before. He has coached. He's coached as a player all his life. He's coached in Stade Francais and he's coached Ireland under 20s. But the area, he's not looking to run an organisation. He's coaching a very specific skill.
And an area that he knows inside out as well, of course. Listen, we're almost running out of time. Ireland lost to France and to England last year. We've got them at home this year. Do you think this could be a good year for Irish rugby? I actually think, Tommy, the Wales game is so crucial because Wales are wounded and our record in Millennium Stadium is very average. And then the next game is France without Fatakawa. So the first two games scream of potential for me. So you're either going to be licking your wounds or else you're going to be really on for a fantastic campaign. Absolutely. OK, well, listen, I can't wait for it. It's only 10 days away. Ronan O'Gara, thank you for joining us. Of course, everybody can watch that on Virgin Media 1, the Six Nations, Ireland against Wales. See you soon.
See you, Tommy. Great to chat. Thanks.
Cheers. You too.
The Guinness Six Nations Championship starts Saturday, 6th of February, live on Virgin Media 1 and Virgin Media Player.